Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Evolve by Erica, the podcast. This is Erica, your host, and I'm so excited that you're here to talk about all things spirituality, meditation, 5D, higher consciousness, all the good things. So, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about a little life update of being a spiritual entrepreneur, working for myself, leaving my full-time job, and doing what I love. And there's a lot to unpack. So here we go. So the last time we talked about this, I think was episode 3, where I talked about transitioning from your job in alignment and in an abundance frequency. And that is absolutely essential. So I wanted to give you guys a little life update. Things are going really well. I often feel like, oh my gosh, pinch me. I can't believe I get to wake up and do this every day. It's really incredible to do what you love every day. And I encourage those of you who aren't doing what you love right now, start in such a small way. That's how I did. I started a little by little by little until it eventually grew. And for those of you who are doing it, that's amazing. And for those of you who don't really know what your passion is yet and your purpose is yet, do not worry. That was me about 5 years ago. I didn't even know what Kundalini was. And I kept writing in my manifestation journal that I want to help people. I want to help people feel good, empowered, rise above their challenges, maybe with something with meditation and movement. And that was the theme that was written over and over and over again in my journal until Kundalini found me. And here I am. So I recommend for those of you who don't know what your purpose is yet, just to start writing, asking the universe, telling the universe that you are ready to serve in a higher way. You're ready to fulfill your destiny and your purpose on earth, and see what the universe delivers to you. So working for yourself is definitely interesting. So I have to say, before now, every other year, I definitely worked my ass off. So going back to when I was teaching, my day could have ended at 2:40 most days, but I always chose to tutor after school. I always chose to work with students one-on-one. I felt like I made the biggest impact that way. I chose to go back to school for administration. I just felt like I was always doing so much, and I would often be really exhausted and really run down. But that was just like, I held a very, very high expectation for myself. And now transitioning, working for myself, it's definitely different, especially because what I'm doing is in this spiritual, energetic realm. I've learned I can't simply work in the ways that I used to. As I've shared in almost every episode, Kundalini Yoga is the yoga or meditation of awareness. It helps you to become super aware of your truth, of your body, of your energy. And I'm very much aware of what I need and how to feel completely supported energetically. So that's been a very big transition. What I definitely struggled with in the beginning was managing my time, because now I'm my own boss. I do have an assistant and a digital assistant. We work over the computer together, and a digital intern who are amazing, and they help me a lot. But it's hard when it's your own business, because you kind of want to do everything. And then on the things that like really drain you, that's where you'll like ask for support. So right now I'm kind of in the phase of figuring out like where I need more help and where I can ask them for more help. Because like I said, this is energy work. So part of my job, I believe this is what my job is. My job is to feel good every day, which is so cool. And I'm so grateful that that's my job. But I feel like in order to support people, in order to be grounded during this massive shift on the earth, in order to be my healthiest self, I need to feel good and I need to meditate. So every day I spend at least 20 minutes in the morning in meditation. But I would I like the sweet spot of like 40 to 45 minutes, because this is my job, like I said. So that is the first thing I do. And then from there, I feel really inspired to go straight into a little bit of work after my meditation. So maybe answering emails, getting back to some reach outs that I've had over email, whatever it may be, get like housekeeping stuff done. And then after that, I like to get my movement in. So some type of workout when it's nice out. I absolutely love being outside, but lately it's been more indoor workouts. So I transition through Pilates, low impact Pilates. From there, sometimes yoga, which is a little more of an intense yoga class, sometimes weightlifting and sculpting, but light weights, nothing crazy. Yeah, so that's how I pretty much start the first half of my day. And after my workout, which is usually like the late morning, early afternoon, I have lunch for myself. And while I'm having lunch, I'm usually answering emails or on social media responding. That's also part of my job, which is kind of been a challenge lately, which I'll talk about. But I'm always on Instagram because I love the Evolve community. I love the connection that we have. I love how we have instant access to each other. And the DMs that I get, like I literally live for them. When you guys send me DMs about like how this practice has changed your life, that reminds me why I'm doing all this. So thank you for those. So I'm in and out of that. And then usually I have some meditations, one-on-one meditations, and I could have anywhere from like 1 to, I try to cap it at 4, but maybe 5 a day. Typically it's less than that though, because that would be a lot for me. And in addition to that, I try to think of creative ways for getting my message and my purpose across on social media, and exploring TikTok a little bit, creating meditations for the Evolve Exclusive, thinking about new things I could bring to the Evolve Exclusive, thinking about recipes I could share on the Evolve Exclusive, all these things. So sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, I have so many roles and jobs. And then other times I'm like, oh, I could handle even more than this. I love what I do and I feel so supported. So yeah, so social media lately for me has been a little stressful. It just feels like so much energy and there's so much content, so many creatives out there and creators. And sometimes it's like, oof, like what am I going to put out that's really post worthy? Because in this age of so much information and so much content, I'm just feeling like there's so much noise and I just want to communicate in the most effective way, which actually I feel like this podcast came at the best time because I started to feel this way about social media right before the podcast launched. And social media will always be part of me and I'll always be present on it. But this just feels so much more natural, organic, and more of a flow. And we need to do things that feel really in alignment with our truth and ourselves, like we spoke about in the last episode. And this really, really does. So that is where I'm at. That's kind of a look at my day being a spiritual entrepreneur on my own. And of course, like leading meditations for the Evolve Exclusive. I didn't say that. Like our live weekly meditations are so special to me. I absolutely love them. So some challenges that I've experienced as working for myself and being my own boss is time management. So when I was working full time, I was the most efficient person in the world, to the point where like I started to run late, like in the morning when I was still teaching. I would be late every day because I just tried to like get every single thing I can in the morning. And I prided myself on being super efficient. And then when my schedule completely changed and I got to create my own schedule for the most part, it was a little bit of a challenge of like, oh, I don't feel as productive. I don't feel like I'm getting as much done. So a tip that's helped me, and hopefully it'll help you if you're feeling the same way or if you're in the same position, is time blocking on Google Calendar. So I love using Google Calendar, and I will just put in like when I'm meditating in the morning, what time I'm waking up, what time I'm meditating, what I'm doing after that, and then after that, and then after that, and work around my private one-on-one clients and sessions. To make sure that I'm holding myself accountable. And within that, if there's something I don't get to during the day, that's a-okay. If I needed to take a break, if I needed to get outside, if I need to get away from a screen, I definitely tune into myself and definitely value that for sure. Because being around technology all day and not being around people, I'm totally okay with working on my own. I'm very much an introvert in that way. I love being by myself, but it can burn you out because you're looking at the screen, all that blue light. It's a lot. So taking time to do that is really powerful. The other thing that I felt was really helpful was I create notes on my iPhone and I just list some of the things. So let's say I blocked out an hour or like 2 hours for content creating. In my notes, I will write a list of what content that I want to create and put those little bubbles next to it so I could just check off when I do it. It's so satisfying and it's been so helpful. So those are some tips, but I think what I've noticed, and this is what I preach all the time, so obviously this is what I know to be true. When I go to bed early, stick with an early sleep schedule and wake up really early, those are my most productive days. So there's just a different energy about waking up early in the morning and getting a head start before anyone else. And I promise you, you start in such a different frequency because you're having that graceful transition from that melatonin-induced state to the serotonin and the cortisol state. And you're getting ahead of everybody else on the planet, or maybe, in our hemisphere. So you're taking time to wake up before the sun, connecting with that really beautiful before sunrise energy, and time literally expands during the day for you when you do that. So I think my most successful and most productive days, productive in a healthy way, days have been when I wake up super early. And throughout the day, if I feel like I don't have the energy or I don't have the inspiration, I've been trying my best to pick up some books to read. I just want to continue learning and growing for this community and to continue to serve in the highest way that I can, but also taking little meditation breaks or little breath breaks. So it's funny, actually, sometimes I meet a lot of resistance before like filming a reel, but then I've noticed that if the reel contains meditating and I have to actually take a few long deep breaths, all of a sudden I'm like back in alignment. I'm so energized and I'm so much more inspired. So just taking, no matter what your job is, whether you work for yourself or you work somewhere else for someone else, taking a few moments to just connect to your breath is really all that you need throughout the day. So that's a little recap on how life has been as a spiritual entrepreneur, an energist, whatever you want to call it, working for myself. I encourage anyone that wants to eventually do this for themselves to just start taking small baby steps. Do not be discouraged. Do not have any doubts. Just listen to that voice and go for it, because there are people who need you and they need what you have to offer. And that's what this time that we're living in is all about. Really serving the collective, being able to share our gifts, our purpose of why we're here with the world, and start small. If you are trying to get started, reach out to me. I would love to help you because there's nothing more fulfilling than living in your truth and living in your purpose. So I'm grateful for each of you and every member of Evolve and everyone that's ever been part of Evolve or had a session with me. I'm so grateful for all of you because you really helped me in this journey of becoming who I am today and becoming a teacher in this space and having the confidence to take this big leap and be here in this way. So thank you so much. And I want to take a moment to share from our sponsor. So our sponsor is Eaton Hemp, and I share Eaton Hemp all the time on my social media channel, but I definitely have to share some of the things I love most about Eaton Hemp. So I love their superfood bites. They're packed with nutrients. This is an organic, sustainable brand, seed to shelf. So it's farm owned, and it's just so transparent, so clean, in alignment with everything that I'm about. And I love their superfood bites, but I also love their hemp hearts because it is the easiest way to get the cleanest, easiest, least ingredient plant milk. So I love making hemp milk out of the hemp hearts, and it's just such a great brand. So Eaton Hemp is offering 30% off to all listeners of the podcast. So if you check out eatonhemp.com, make sure you grab some superfood bites because they're so delicious, and anything else you may want. And then at checkout, I want you to enter the code ERIKA30, that's ERIKA 30, for 30% off your entire purchase. So eatonhemp.com, code ERIKA30 for 30% off your entire purchase. So enjoy. You can reach out, check out the Eaton Hemp family, and enjoy their goodies. They're delicious, sustainable, organic, all the good things. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit of a check-in on my end and how business is going as working for myself. And just to recap, I feel like the biggest takeaways, if you're in this position, is staying consistent with your schedule, trying your best to be consistent, time blocking, creating notes for yourself, can really help you to stay organized and to keep up. So those are just some of the ways that have really helped me. So I wanted to just take this moment here to do a little grounding and cleansing meditation. So wherever you are, if you're walking, if you're driving, you can do this. We're not even going to tune in. We're just going to connect to our breath for a moment. So I want you to take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. If you're driving, you're not going to take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. But I just want you to take a long, deep breath in, filling up the chest, filling up the belly, feeling the chest and the belly rise and expands. Exhaling out through the mouth, letting it all go. Letting go of whatever you've been holding on to today. And once more, inhale, fill up the chest, fill up the belly. And exhale slowly, release, let it go. And once more, inhale, fill up the chest, fill up the belly. And exhale and release as slowly as possible, letting it all go. I hope that brought you a little bit more centered energy. And I hope that wherever you are in your day, you're ready for the next step, feeling refreshed, feeling calm, feeling grounded and centered. Thank you so much for listening to this little recap of how things have been going here. I'm very, very grateful to hold this space for you and to be here and serve the collective in this way. So thank you. May the longtime sun shine upon you. Have a beautiful day. Sat Nam.